Welcome to Scale Her Up, the Female Entrepreneurs Show with me, Brenda Hector. I'm a business growth specialist helping business owners to develop themselves and grow their businesses so they can achieve their goals and enjoy the lifestyle they dream of. I'm on a mission to revolutionise the entrepreneurial landscape for women in business. In every episode, I interview someone who has an inspiring story or some great advice for women aiming to start or scale their businesses. If you're new to the show, take a moment to subscribe right now so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. And please check out previous ones after listening to this. We've got an awesome Facebook community. Just search for Scale Her Up and join in. And I'm delighted today. I've got Alana Innes from Rethink Accountancy joining me. Alana, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It might be a silly question, but tell me about Rethink Accountancy. What is it that you do?
Okay. I founded Rethink Accountancy, I think, nearly 8 years ago. I had been working in accountancy firms for maybe about 20 years now. And then I wanted to be able to work remotely and be a little bit travel and work I wanted on my terms. But at the time, when I went to my employer, they had said no, they needed everyone to report to the office, and that was something that they needed from all their staff. So I decided to start up on my own. And the aim was just to get enough money to cover my travel, beer tokens. It wasn't really supposed to go in the direction that it did. But that was pre-pandemic. And then obviously everyone went home to work, and we started working with some e-commerce brands and some people that were doing things online. And then during the pandemic, we just really grew. Things snowballed. We ended up taking on lots of e-commerce firms, lots of people that were at home that were thinking, oh, I've always wanted to try this. I've always wanted to do this. So yeah, things sort of grew from there. And yeah, it wasn't what I'd expected initially to do, but we are growing constantly and there's lots going on. And it's been a good adventure so far.
So let's just go back to why you started then. You wanted to travel the world and do your accountancy from anywhere.
Yeah, at the time when I first started, my sister was living in London and I think I wanted the flexibility to go to London. My brother lives in Spain. So I wanted to be able to go and see my brother, my niece and my nephew and go and see different countries and things. I initially went to London and relocated down there for a few years. Came back, have spent quite a bit in Spain, Africa, Italy, different countries as well. I've not done actually as much travel as I would have hoped, but I'm going to hope to try and do a lot more of that over the next year, hopefully.
Brilliant. So you started your business so you could be in different countries and still work.
Yeah, I more just wanted the remote lifestyle because it wasn't available. And I was getting tired of reporting to an office every day. I wanted to be able to travel, but it just didn't seem to be available. I just thought, okay, I'm going to do this. I want to travel. I want to have the flexibility. So went and took the leap. And then shortly after the pandemic happened and everybody
was doing it. Yeah.
It's quite the norm now. But when I first started it and saying I was going to be working remotely, we weren't going to have a fixed office, we were going to be working remotely, I think a lot of people thought I'd lost my head when I said I was going to go and do that, give up my job and go and work remotely. But it definitely, I think the lifestyle has made me a lot happier. I feel a lot happier being able to work on my terms where I want to work remotely. I feel like working remotely, it's not for everyone. I think some people, like my sister, likes to be in the office every day and she likes that. She likes to be in the buzz of the office and that's what makes her more productive. But for me, I work better when I'm at home. There's no distractions. I just get my head down and it's better for me. So I think it is really a personal choice what people choose and what they want for their life as well.
I love hearing how, why people got started. Everybody's got a different story and it works. It's different for everyone. That's brilliant. And in terms of the service that you're delivering to your clients, tell me what you're doing for your clients within Rethink.
So we do full accountancy services, mostly aimed at the SME sort of market. We work with a lot of people in different niches. We work with a lot of online businesses, e-commerce. We are quite specific and we are a digital paperless in the cloud firm. So we do not accept people turning up with loads of receipts and we've got
full of paper.
So if you are still working on that way, we were quite and 8 years ago when we first started saying that we wouldn't accept paper, we were fully digital. We were only working in the cloud. Quite a few people were like, oh no, that's not how I like to work. But I think a lot has happened in that 8 years. I think people are a lot more in with new rules coming in when they're making tax digital and stuff. everything's going digital. But 8 years ago when we did it, it was a little bit like, oh, your business is never going to be successful if you do that. You're never going to manage if you do that. But yeah, it's worked. And I think because I'm happy in my personal life and how I'm working, it makes my job, I enjoy my job even better now.
Are you doing bookkeeping or just
Yeah. So we
as well?
basically give clients a service package that covers everything. So we're a zero-based firm. So a Zero Accounting is what we use as a platform for our business. We give clients a dedicated bookkeeping email address and a data capture software. So we do all their bookkeeping, we do the accounts preparation, company secretarial, personal tax, payroll, just everything that you really need for your business. We try and be just like your back office. You go do your business, run what you've got to do, the things that you want to do that you enjoy. And we just make sure everything's ticking in the background, making sure you don't miss any deadlines, giving people tax planning advice, just making sure that you're up to date with all the new legislations. There's so much going on just now. I think in my whole career, this is the first time I've seen so many legislation changes like going on at the moment, and there's more coming in. There's lots going on. Just making sure that our clients are always aware of what's ahead and what's going on. And yeah, just being approachable and speaking in basic terms. I think a lot of some accountants will like to give loads of jargon and loads of legislative and long drafted responses. So we try and just make sure that we're relatable to our clients and that they understand their numbers for their business. And that's just like the main thing for us as well.
It sounds amazing because, yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes it feels like accountancy is a dark art that only accountants understand. And
Yeah.
a lot of business owners can be made to feel stupid. Sometimes I think
You always say there's no stupid question. Always ask. Like there's no stupid question. Whatever you want to ask. We give our clients unlimited email access and we just say whatever question comes up, anything that comes up, just email us. We're always there to respond to any email questions you've got. Anything that you think might be stupid, ask us because it might not be as stupid as you think it is. And sometimes if you go down the wrong path of thinking, oh, I'm doing this is the right way, I should be doing it, it can sometimes turn out that it's not the best way. Or because some people as well say, oh, Jimmy down the pub was told me this X, Y, and Z. And the information he might have got from his accounting might have been correct to his specific situation. But everyone's different. Every business is different. Everyone's personal circumstances, everyone's like different sources of income they might have. So answers can vary depending on your situation. So it's just making sure that you give the correct answers to each client for their specific situation.
And a good accountant will ask all the questions to find out what their situation is. Yeah.
So, yeah, we try and give out as well. We give out like regular monthly on our client portal. We give out if there's any changes, some tips, some advice. We try and make sure that our clients are always, we're giving them little things that they might think, oh, I never thought about that or I forgot about that, and just little wee tips all the time as well. So we try and keep in communication with our clients as much as we can.
You're saying we. How big's your team now then?
So where are we now? I think we're up to like about 18 at the moment. I think our client numbers during the pandemic, as I said, we took on a large number of clients. We actually lost quite a few clients after the pandemic because we had a lot of people that had started up side hustles and businesses, and then they decided, oh, this isn't really making any money, or I've gone back to my main job, or I've decided not to do it. So we did have a period where we lost a lot of clients, and things were a little bit, we were thinking, oh, is this going to be the way it goes? But things have steadily increased, and we are a little bit over capacity just now on our staff numbers because there is so many legislative changes coming up. We've got the introduction of making tax digital for sole traders. So from next year, any sole traders earning over £50,000 a year will have to submit 5 returns to HMRC, and they have to use digital software. So we've been setting up a personal tax department to deal with that as well. So we've taken on a few extra staff at the moment just to be prepared and ready, because we think there's going to be an influx of people that have not submitted tax returns within accounting or have not used commercial software or just don't even want to deal with the legislation. And so we think hopefully we will get a lot more clients during this period as well.
So it's a frustration for a lot of businesses, but it's definitely an opportunity for businesses like yours.
Yeah, it's very difficult because I think for any accountancy firm over the last couple of years, we have dealt with a lot of legislation changes. And then during the pandemic, we had all the furlough, the things like grants and things to deal with. And we don't really get any support. We don't get any help. And a lot of these costs and things that we have to pass on, you're trying to pass on these costs to your clients. And they maybe don't think it's worth it, or they're thinking, oh, I could do it myself. So I think there is going to be a little bit of a kickback from a lot of sole traders, and a lot of people have been like, well, submitted my tax return myself for years. And now there's going to be all these changes where they're going to be forced to do 5 returns a year. They're going to be forced to do commercial software. So I think there is going to be a little bit of a hold hand in and a lot of work that's going to need to go on through that period for us as well.
In terms of building a team, so you got 18 staff, a lot of business owners that I speak to, a lot of people that will be listening, can be a bit wary of hiring a team. So what's been your experience of building a team of that size?
Yeah, so I think I've always worked, I think probably for the last 10, 15 years, I've managed teams. And I think maybe that was maybe one of the other deciding factors of me leaving my last job, is like I'd spent years managing teams, and I just thought I would rather just maybe be on my own and do my own little thing for a while. Building it, as I said as well, I didn't expect to grow this big, and I didn't expect to go the way it was. At the moment, we have a really good culture within the team and everyone gets on really well. But I would say I am not naive in the fact that as I continue to grow and as things grow, that there might be things that are going to come up and issues and problems. I haven't had any problems really so far, but I'm thinking as I grow and as it gets bigger, I think that it will ultimately happen. But I think we've put enough processes and we've built a good enough culture that hopefully it wouldn't cause too much of an issue within our team.
Is it bigger, or is everyone still remote?
So we do like hybrid. So we
Okay.
do, sometimes we'll go for periods where it's 3 days in the office, and then we'll go down to, if maybe we've spent an intense time in the office, like a month or so, we'll go down to 2 days, and then maybe 1 day, like I think just now coming up December, there's lots going on. Every clients are not wanting to respond to us. So I've said, December, you can go down to 1 day a week and like just keep it 1 day a week. And then next year, when we're going to January, when we're coming up to tax deadline, we'll need to go back to being like 3 days a week or whatever. So yeah, I try and be like, I like being at home, and I know that it is better to be at home, but there is times when you need to be together for communication and and especially when there's new people coming on and you're training and you're getting them in their roles. I think you don't want anyone to be left on their own for too long. So I think we haven't taken anyone on in a while. We took 3 people on, I think it was like August. So we were in the office intensively for them. So now I'm like, okay, you all can go home for a while and work at home. But we've got 2 new people starting on the 6th of January. So we'll be back in the office working with them probably for another 3 months and get them really settled in. And then we might just say, okay, maybe we'll go home again for another, like back down to 2 days or back down to 1 day. So we'll see how it goes.
That's brilliant. I've never heard of that model before, where you spend more time in the office when you need to, and when new team members are bedding in. I love that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's more important to be focused on the culture that you're building when you've got that hybrid remote working environment?
Yeah, definitely. I think, and open, like I always say to them, like, be open with me, be honest with me. If anything comes up, I'm going to be more annoyed if you hide things from me or you don't tell me things, like just be honest. So we try and be open, as honest with anything. Like life happens, things happen in people's lives. So like we try and just say to everyone, tell us what's going on. Don't like shy away, try and be open. But I think every office is going to have like issues. So it's just working on it and making sure that we build a good culture. Yeah.
So, who's been your biggest supporter through the years of having your own business?
Biggest supporter, can I say my mum?
Of course you can. Yeah, big up all the mums out there.
I would probably say, my mum has been probably one of my biggest supporters in my family. So even when I went home to work, like my mum will go walk my dog, my mum will cook me extra meals, she'll come in and clean my house, she'll do everything. Like, so my mum has been a huge help. And I think if it hadn't been for my mum when I first went self-employed, who she was supporting me when I was the one, when I didn't have the resources to have loads of stuff and I was working 12 hours a day and I was like doing everything I could to get the business up and running. She genuinely supported me quite a lot and made my life a lot easier. Yeah, that made mums are always to the answer.
It's really interesting, the things that you said. Walking your dog, cooking your meals, and including those are things that you wouldn't. It's almost like you wouldn't be supposed to talk about those because they're related to business, but they're so related to business because that's what frees up your time to be able to
because I could focus on my business then, and I wasn't thinking, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do this. So yeah, that was probably my biggest help. Yeah.
Oh, bless her. You better tell us her name then.
Jackie.
Well done, Jackie, for Alana. Yeah, brilliant. So do you think you were always going to have your own business? Do you think and being a business owner was always on the cards, or was it a surprise to you?
I don't know. I think I've always been a little bit entrepreneurial. And even when I was in my other jobs, I was always managing the teams. I was always getting new business in. I was always doing what I could to improve the bottom line and doing stuff. So I think it wasn't like a big shot. Business, I think business more than anything else is something that does, I enjoy it. It pushes me on. I like seeing like the figures. I like seeing how businesses are working. I like seeing all the back bits that goes in to make a business working as well. Yeah. And I like people. So I think like being front facing and being like working with people, I think like you have to love what you're doing and love business and love working with people, or I think it just doesn't really work.
Awesome. Awesome. So the one of the reasons that I started the podcast is because there's not enough women starting and scaling their business now. And you've done that. You started your brilliant story of why you started. You've built it up, 18 staff. That's beyond a lot of people's comprehension when they start out. So what would be your advice to someone who's listening who wants to start or wants to grow their business?
Yeah, just go for it. Don't let the fear of thinking, oh, if it doesn't work, or let anyone else's the fear of what anyone else thinks put you back or anything. Just go out there and do it. And if you make mistakes and things don't work, like just keep trying, keep going. Because I think as well, when we grew and things were, we had a large amount of clients and then things started closing down. And I was thinking, okay, like, how do we do this? But we just regrouped and we've reworked things, and things are just back to how good they were like 2 years ago when things were taking on loads of clients. So I think you just have to keep evolving and just making sure that you evolve. And if it's what you love doing, just do it. Yeah, definitely.
I love that. Flexible. And you mentioned if things go wrong. So there are failures, aren't there?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing people don't speak about enough. So I think we worked, I was looking, I don't know what the figure is. Maybe it's like, I think maybe 224 businesses we closed in the last 24 months or something. I think I was looking at a figure not long ago. That's a huge amount of people that took that leap and took that step and went into thinking, and they invested their life savings, money, and thought it was going to work. Some people have came out and maybe they've not lost money, but some people have come out and lost money. But I think a lot of the people say, I took the chance, I did it. And yeah, it's just, I suppose it's, always thinking the regret of what if I had tried it, or what if I hadn't tried it. But then we have a lot of people that we're working with that are being like really successful. And there's a lot of people, like a lot of really good success stories, and people like really thrive in businesses as well, locally in Aberdeen and throughout the UK as well. So yeah.
Now that's interesting because they've even got a name these days, the Abermoners. Plenty of folk complaining about Aberdeen and the oil industry. So they're not supporting the oil industry, and Aberdeen's a terrible place. We've got this awful city centre, but actually, you just said there are lots of businesses doing really well, aren't there?
Yeah. And so years ago, I worked in an accountancy firm and we just specialised in oil and gas contractors. And it ended up when things all started like going a bit wrong, it closed down. I'm not even sure if there is any accountancy firms in Aberdeen now that are just specific to oil and gas, but I specialised. We had hundreds of contractors working with us, and it was buoyant and there were things going on, but we still have now we have lots of oil and gas contractors that still work with us. We're working with quite a few oil and gas service companies. But there's loads of other things going on in Aberdeen. I think things pivot, things change, life changes. How we all live and work has changed. So we're working with lots of people that are selling things online. And I have quite a few people that are on TikTok that are making large sums of money just from being on TikTok every day, advertising like products. So that shows as well the change of how the world has gone, because people now go onto TikTok for their shopping, and there's people on there making large sums of money, and the people leaving their jobs. I've got two clients who are doctors, and a client who's a nurse, a client who's a teacher, and they've all left their jobs. And I actually had a city banker as well who left his job recently as well to work on selling things online digitally in e-commerce. So you just think all these people years ago, it would have been like, you've got to get into these really good jobs and that's where you are going to excel and that's where your life's going to be good. But I think the world has changed. Everything's changed and how we live has changed.
Fascinating. I'll need to get you to introduce me to some of them and get them on to tell me what they're doing and inspire some others to start their business that way.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. It's not a question that I often ask, but I don't know why it's come into my head. Are you a reader? Are you inspired by business books, or is there any books that have helped you on your journey?
No, I'm not like the hugest. And it's funny because my mum and my sister are the hugest readers ever. Do read a book every now and again. What's the one about good dad, bad dad?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read that one not long ago, and I did read another, I can't remember, I've read a few, but no, I am not a huge reader. I don't know. I find like when I'm in my work all day, I am quite a deep like thinker and like thinking through things. So when I work at the end of my work, it's really intense all day. So I find when I finish work, I just want to watch rubbish TV. Things are not going to take much brain space.
Yeah.
And it's just going to go over my head. So I find that's easier for me. And then when I start work the next day, my brain is fresh just to be like really concentrating on what I'm doing.
I'm going to go back to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, though, because that's about your mindset, isn't it? That's whether you think you can be rich doing this or whether you think you can't. And the people that think they can't, they're never going to be the ones that start a business. And
I think mindset is like a quite a big thing. And I think as well that like the money, like I don't think I'm motivated so much by money. I'm not saying it's not good, you need it and everything, but I do love what I do and I genuinely enjoy it and I love business. And when I have a really good month when my figures are good or whatever is good, that pushes me on more than like actually seeing the money. It's just I like business. I think I'm very results driven more than like money driven or anything like that.
So what kind of results are you aiming for? What's the future for Rethink Accountancy?
I think, I'm looking to hopefully like double turnover within the next 2 or 3 years. So it's just, I think after a few years of maybe like resetting the business, getting more like changing our systems, getting things ready, I am hopefully going to be able to go out there and hopefully start scaling a bit again. That is the next steps for next year. That is my aim. So we'll see how that goes.
That's interesting. There's always more. Every step when you get to it, means you can see further and you want to get further.
Yeah, it's good. So yeah, that's my aim for next year is really, I think I've taken a bit of a step back over the last few years. I've just been focused internally and systems and getting softwares and do training of staff and getting everything ready. So I haven't really been out there trying to get work or trying to do that. But I feel now the back office is now fully set up and ready to go. We changed a lot of things. Next year, I'm going to be like trying to, scale up again a bit.
So are you the business development person? Are you the salesperson? Is it you that goes out there or do you have someone that does that?
Yes, no, it's me. I do most of that sort of stuff. Yeah, people do. Most of our business comes from referrals and I work with a few different people I work with a few different people who might refer more businesses than others. But yeah, all our business comes from referrals, from family, from friends. But I am going to be looking to be out there a little bit more next year, being a little bit more visible myself and trying to get online and trying to get more visibility for the business out there as well.
I guess this was a good time to get you on the podcast then.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Another question for you then before we finish up. I ask it to a lot of my guests. If you could go back to meet your 18-year-old self, what advice would you give her?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Just trust the timing of everything and trust like your experiences, trust everything you go. I think some people are ready to rush things. And I think as well for me as well, I think I always thought once I'd got to a certain level in my career that I would be like, that would be it. And I'd be like so happy. And then I think once I got to a certain level in my career, I was just like, I was quite willing just to, as I did, walk away and start again and just be myself and not have all that this corporate like view of where you are in your position and everything. So yeah, just make sure that you're being happy in yourself. Make sure you're giving yourself a good work-life balance, because if you don't have the good balance, I think you're never going to be fulfilled. Because I think I was guilty of that before. I was working long hours, like really that maybe had a good outwardly corporate or feel of my work, but I wasn't happy with it.
Like success by other people's measure of it, not necessarily of your own.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, but I'm not happy on my personal side of things. And I was giving up things on my personal side to make sure that I was making things okay for my work side. So now I feel as though it's very balanced, and I feel as though I'm a lot happier because it makes me, I enjoy my work, and I'm happy in my personal life as well. Yeah. I think that's the thing. Just make sure you're doing what's going to make you happy.
That's brilliant. There doesn't have to be compromises.
No.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
a brilliant lesson to everyone. Yeah. If you think you want to start or scale your business,
Yeah.
it's right.
Yeah.
It's right for you.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how next year goes as well. But yeah, I'm excited to get back out there and hopefully try and get things a lot more scaled again, and yeah, be more visible than I have been for the last few years.
And is that something that you notice when you've not been visible? Does it affect the business then?
I think maybe a little bit. I think when you're not so visible, I think when you're there, yeah, you're still getting clients in, but they're maybe not at the level you were before. So I think for a while we were signing up like numerous clients in a day, a week, whatever. So that's really slowed down over the last little while. But I feel as though, and that's another thing as well. I think before we were quite initially as a new business, we were quite happy to take on any client, and it was just like any client, and like even with fees, if clients were like, oh, but this I'm paying this, and maybe I'll reduce the fee. So I think I've become a lot better myself at being a lot more selective than like saying, I don't think you're the right fit for us. It's not going to work. Or no, this is our fee. This is what we need to cover our expenses. We can't go below that. And yeah, so these are all lessons that you learn as a business owner.
And being out there and being visible, so that's not comfortable for everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
So
putting yourself out there, was that difficult in the beginning?
sorry, I really enjoy I enjoy the whole, like when I meet a new client, go through their business, working out what needs to be done. And I really enjoy that bit. And I've always done that in every firm I've worked in. I've always been front facing because I find that bit very easy. I find speaking to people, being relatable, finding out what's going on in their business, finding ways to improve things, finding ways that I can maybe improve their business in sort of ways. I find like I enjoy that. So I think if you enjoy that and you pass that on to the business owners, they're going to want to work with you. They're going to want to be part. Say, okay, I'd rather have yourself than someone that's not really interested in the business and how it works.
And now, just try to word this, getting out there and getting yourself visible. Do you go networking? Is that something that
So I have done network in the past, and I did BNI for a few years and different other networking groups. But I think for us, our new is really being online and being on different platforms. Going to try and be more visible on TikTok, yeah, things like that. Because I think TikTok is really where everything's moving to. It's where it's going. So we're going to try and be a lot more visible on some of our online platforms
yeah.
and see how that works. A lot of our clients are London based or Manchester, they're based without the whole of the UK. So it's really it's not location specific. I think we're going to try and be on our online platforms a lot better over the next year.
That's good. That's a really relevant message, actually, because not every getting out there and being visible works for every business. So find the right one for you where your customers are.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we're not location, like, because I know that there's other accountancy firms in Aberdeen and stuff that are just like, they'll go to local networking groups and they stick to local businesses and things like that. But although we do have quite a few Aberdeen-based businesses, our clients are based throughout the UK. So we do have a varied range of clients. And yeah, so we're more like, if you fit with us and we fit with you and we work well, then that's how we sort of work.
Awesome. That's brilliant, Alana. Is there anything I should have asked you that I haven't asked? Anything you would like to share before we finish?
I don't know. No, I don't. I think we covered everything. I think that's been quite quick, actually.
I know. Yeah, that's a fast half hour, wasn't it?
Yeah, I suppose as well. Yeah, just what we always said about giving the young people, anyone that's thinking about going on their journey, do it, even if it doesn't work out or if it does fail. Like, at least you've tried, and go and try it and do it. But yeah, don't be scared and just go out and try and if it's something you love, put your heart into it.
I guess you're meeting lots of people who are there doing something they love and smart.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people as well. I think a lot of the people we meet these days are more saying that they're starting up a new business same as me, they've worked a career or they've worked a job when they've had to do it, but they want to be at home more with their children, or they want to be able to travel, or they want to have the flexibility. So a lot of people are now like thinking, okay, I need to start making plans so that I'm not just fixed in this job where I have to go in an office 9 to 5 and I have to do that. I can go and build up a lifestyle and a job on my own, that I can travel where I want, be where I want. And I think a lot more people are thinking that's more important than climbing the corporate ladder now.
Absolutely. I think the young generation are more about why they're doing things rather than,
Yeah.
and having your own business definitely gives you the platform to make that happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Alana, I've really enjoyed chatting with you today. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you to you, the listeners, for listening to Scale Her Up, the Female Entrepreneurs Show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes, and join our Facebook community at Scale Her Up. Connect with me, Brenda Hector, on social media and drop me a message to let me know you're enjoying the podcasts, or pop a review for us. I'll finish by reminding you that only 1 in 3 UK entrepreneurs are female, and men are 5 times more likely to scale their business to over 1 million in turnover than women are. When we start and scale our businesses to the same extent as men, it will add 250 billion to the UK economy and provide millions of jobs. Ladies, you can do it and make a massive difference.